6 and injures hundreds in Indonesia. I do welcome you once more to News at 8. My name is John Jimmy Musimbi. Now, starting us off tonight, today's Senior 6 candidates across the country have begun writing their Uganda Advanced Certificate of Education exams across the entire country. Our reporter visited some schools around Kampala and filed this report.
At Namungona High School, we found that learners had already started writing their examination papers, of which art students started with economics paper 1 and science students with chemistry practicals. The school principal, Mr. Semaganda Ronald, says the administration is confident of good grades.
As teachers of the school, we are indeed happy that our students that we have prepared for 2 years are in position to sit for these exams. So we are so hopeful that they will pass with flying colors. We have prepared them so well in a sense that we hope to perform better than the performance of last year.
However, he says the school faced a challenge of high cost of practical equipment and asked the government to revise this issue.
The situation has been a bit hectic, especially when it comes to purchasing and buying the materials and the items to be used. However, I want to use this opportunity to request the government of Uganda at a time like this, it should come up and talk to our friends who are selling the items, who are working in these laboratories in town that are selling the practical items. They should talk to them, reduce the prices. Maybe if it needs to reduce taxes on those items, it can do it.
Our reporter also visited Musimbi Parent Senior School and found some Senior 6 students just from the first paper, while others were preparing for tomorrow's papers.
Meg could have been with economics and the papers. The paper was very good because everything we were taught, everything was there. I know the worst I will get it will be a B, but I'm expecting to get an A.
Today I have not done any paper. I'm waiting for tomorrow for history and I expect to pass it.
And we are very prepared for the papers. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing history, East Africa and Europe.
The head teacher says the examination started on very well in spite of challenges that came with COVID-19.
We thank God. Amid so challenges, we have excelled and our students, we have prepared them well for the exams and we are promising they are going to pass with better aggregates.
But according to UNEP, a total of 97,896 learners were registered to sit for the USCE exams, which have commenced today and will end on December 9th, 2022.
More in the USCE examinations. In Kagadi, USCE exams in Kagadi, Chibale and Kakumiro districts have kicked off well with new anomalies, with a few anomalies of absenteeism at various centers.
At Bunyoro Secondary School, the director of the school, Robert Sekamati, has said that 2 male candidates have not turned up for the economics and chemistry papers out of the 13 registered candidates for this year's USCE. He further says that the school is equipped with SOPs to prevent Ebola spread and emergency vehicles in case of anyone that will represent the symptoms.
We are adequately prepared to respond to these emergencies. One, we are trying to keep distance amongst the learners. We have put hand washing facilities, at the dormitories. We have also put one at the entrance of the examination hall, and we have put sanitizer, so we are able to handle standby vehicle to ensure that in case of any emergency, we are able to call in the health team. And we're also in touch with them. So,
although 4 registered candidates did not show up for the briefing at Kagadi Essays, Tofil Wiarugawa, the director of studies, has said that the center has not registered any absentees for the first papers of economics and chemistry practicals.
No absentee. The papers started very well. and we are still pushing on.
Meanwhile, candidates of Kagadi SS and Bunyoro SS have expressed concern over the abridged new curriculum, which they'd never expected.
I've witnessed some incidences whereby we had got information that some topics were abridged, but we found them, especially in section A.
They had told us of a abridged curriculum that they want to be set, but unfortunately it was set. But that one will not cause a failure. So I
expected good things there, good points, due to the fact that almost the things I've been reading happen in the paper.
In a telephone interview, the Chibale District Inspector of Schools, Lores Kawandi, out of the 3 sitting centers of Chibedi SS, St. Chiriguao SS, and Nitrodam Academy SS, 4 registered candidates did not show up for the first papers of economics and chemistry out of over 200 total registered candidates. Meanwhile, in Kakumiro District, the District Inspector of Schools, Mary Chofuna, told our reporter in a telephone interview that 3 registered candidates in 8 USCE centers of over 500 total candidates did not show up for the first papers, and reasons were still scanty.
Now, as Church of Uganda Family TV, we wish all the Senior 6 candidates across the country success in their exams. Now, moving on, the former president of the Democratic Party, Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogedere, has been finally laid to rest at his ancestral home in Katabi Sub-County, Kumba Parish, Entebbe Municipality in Wakiso District. Mourners of different capacities described him as a humble person who loved peace and reconciliation. Adrian Mukalazi and Emma K.H. Tibwa have more.
Tulinawo His Excellency Ambassador Mulu Katende, Kenya Okuveruero.
Hundreds of mourners have today gathered at Nantale Nkumba in Entebbe during the final send-off of veteran politician Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogedere. The Requiem Mass was attended by several religious leaders like the Archbishop of Kampala Archdiocese, Paul Semogedere, Bishop of Namirembe Diocese, Right Reverend Bishop Wilberforce Chicholuwalira, among others. Other dignitaries included Prime Minister Robin Nabanja, the Katikiro of Buganda Kingdom, Charles Peter Maiga, former Katikiro Muranyamuli Semogedere, former Katikiro John Baptist Walusimbi. Jamina Namatov, the wife of the late, described him as a peace lover, a teacher on cooperatives, and a federal system of government.
Nayogedde nnyo nti omwami wange abadde musomesa ng'antunuulirako kwako naddala asomesezza abantu bangi nnyo era abasomesezza ebintu bingi ne kutonde kwaffe ne mu cultures zaffe. Kirungi tuwe bannaffe eddembe nabo baleete mu b'ebyerowooza.
She, however, appealed that the scheduled gun salute at the burial of her husband as planned by government be halted since the late Semogedere never wanted guns.
Tulirayo abatakula omutwe bw'ate tugenda kuba ki mizinga naye nze singa muze mmwe sandikikubye kubanga omwami wange tayagala Mungu.
However, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja, said that government is mandated to honor the late Paul Kawanga Semogedere with a 17-gun salute as per the Constitution.
Kuchagani salute. Ebitiibwa bijja buli lwokula ate bikuweebwa ssemateeka wa Uganda. Olunaku lwajjo twali twogedde gun salute 3. Naye etteeka ligamba atuuse ku level eya Prime Minister bamuwa gun salute 17. Bwe kiri mu mateeka Constitution ffenna twagikola ne bamemba ba Parliament bakimanyi.
Other dignitaries had much to say about Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogedere, but mostly that he was a man of light.
Paul Kawanga Semogedere tayomba na bantu, tavuma bantu, tabbye kantu, agasse abantu. Buli omu amuwadde ekitiibwa naye yennyini yeewadde ekitiibwa.
He has been a mentor, he has been our hero, he has been our teacher. We regard him as a father in the democracy, especially in this country, Uganda.
We have the mentor, Dr. Kawanga Paul Semogerere, who was arrested, and we have laid him in his final resting house. I was a member of the Democratic Party. He worked so hard, he nurtured us, he groomed us. I remember at the time I was very young and he was actually almost retired from active politics, but he gave us his time. He used to come to our rallies, to groom us, to give a good word about us.
Semogere died at 90 years on Friday at his Kampala home in Rubaga Division. He was honored with a 17-gun salute. Emma Kechitiwa, Edwin Mkalazi, Church of Uganda Family TV, News at 8.
Now rest in peace, Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogerere. The Ugandan army has blamed the political actors for the increased criminal attacks on security officers manning different security points across Uganda.
While speaking to reporters in Chikuwe district, the army spokesperson Brigadier General Felix Kulaije has noted that the spate of attacking security officers manning different security points in central Uganda is being done by criminals who are being misled by political actors.
Criminality always happens, and there are always phases of everything. Okay? So when there is a phase of attacking police posts, it wouldn't be wise to panic that it is a rebellion. Lack of interest in work by the younger people in the central region. Listening to rumor mongers instead of exchanging ideas with those who are supposed to inform them. For me, that's where the snag starts from. The political actors who keep on assuring them that the government is about to fall. And it's not about. This government is still in charge. So they have misled the young people to think, just pick a gun here, pick a gun there, like you can easily rob a shop, you can easily overthrow government. No, it is still around.
Kulaije was in Chikuwe district with the Minister for Defense and Veteran Affairs together with the state ministers Jacob Oboth and Huda Ularu to conduct site inspection of over 6 square miles of maize planted by chieftains of production and welfare in Changwarili sub-county.
Because of lack of leadership and mentorship in lower levels, young people went for quick money. Sold the land, bought borders. Okay? Where did the philosophy of Nkumbi Terimba go?
We the leaders, what are we doing? We are sleeping. We are only politicking all the time. Why can't we create some time for our people? We mobilize our people, we sensitize our people to embrace these programs. They own them, they feel them, they appreciate them, and they implement them.
He has suggested that the government should introduce a law that limits people from bearing children they cannot afford to raise.
If you have nothing producing, don't produce. You either have a goat, a cow, chicken, a pig, or sheep that has produced. So that in the event this child you are going to produce needs something, you can sell a piglet, you can sell a kid of a goat, you can sell a calf, not land.
Kulaije says 75% of security threats are non-military and they are now looking forward to supporting the increasing population. 2 days ago, Army assailants raided Ginger Army Barracks, robbed 2 SMG guns and killed a sergeant officer.
Just hoping that criminality can really go down in the country. Now moving on, the Uganda police has expressed concern over the increasing rate of murder in the country, arising mostly from domestic violence and recklessness of some security officers who shoot at civilians. Joy Nablo has more.
Addressing the press this morning at Naguru Police Headquarters about security in the country, the police spokesperson Fred Enanga noted that domestic violence has brought about many deaths recently, followed by theft.
We also have an update about the murder a husband who murdered the wife due to family planning in Chegegwa district. The information that we gathered is that Innocent Chiwetere, aged 47, a peasant of Ujunjura village, allegedly murdered the wife called Tuichirize Ronias, aged 23, just 23. These are young, young adults who are just like 3 or 4 years into marriage. Now, this man used a blunt object to hit the head of the wife, causing acute brain injury and hemorrhage. After being irritated upon learning that the wife had gotten a family planning implant.
Enanga also warned security officers who have resorted to handling the law in their hands by killing civilians.
It is unfortunate that in Chenjojo we had our police constable Turinawe Frederick of Mukunyu Police Post, who was given information by the OC Rugombe about a serious accident that had happened in Rugombe. So this officer, who was unfortunately in civilian attire, came and stood in Mukunyu Trading Center with a gun and recklessly shot at another vehicle under registration number UAV 611W. That was not the wanted vehicle. Even if it was wanted, there was no imminent threat. There was no danger from the occupants that you should have shot at them.
He further condemns the act of some police officers who connive with criminals by protecting them as they commit crimes.
The two now former police officers, that is ASP Bulenzi Buto Michael and Detective Sergeant Ojanga Charles, were dismissed from the force due to discreditable conduct, and they were returned to cells as civilians. Today they are going to appear in court with 6 others as civilians on charges of aggravated robbery of 70 million in conspiracy with the driver of Victoria Sugar Company called Mukabya Musa.
Report compiled by Joy Navulo for News at 8.
Now, the Uganda National Students Association leadership for Rubanda District has embarked on a drive that will encourage entrepreneurship projects among student leaders in the area. The drive was launched at the district headquarters, so various student leaders benefit from a piggery project that will be conducted from their schools.
According to John Bosco Namara, the UNSA coordinator for Rwanda district, the purpose of the project is to empower student leaders with entrepreneurship skills that will transform them into successful business people in future.
We established a number of school council projects. This project, we have estimated it to cost a tune of 10 million, whereby we shall be distributing 1 piglet per school. One of our main objectives is that our student leaders can develop a sense of ownership in these projects.
While commissioning the drive, Rwanda district leaders led by Eric Sewandeke, the Deputy Resident District Commissioner, and Mary Waguma, the district speaker, hailed UNSA for the initiative that will change the mindset of student leaders.
It is very amazing. It is something that takes us far for socio-economic transformation. If the social begins from school, the students will get the knowledge to circulate the information even up to home. So thank you, UNSA, for this project.
Gordon Mutesigensi, the chairperson school council for Nyaruhanga High School and one of the beneficiaries, say that the project is timely since schools are implementing the hybrid curriculum that trains learners life skills for their future survival.
We are going to gain skills and even we can get money from these piglets after feeding them.
The drive, which will be implemented in a number of phases, has started with 20 secondary schools benefiting from the 10 million Uganda shillings seed capital.
Now News at 8 takes a very short commercial break, but when we return, we talk oral health. Do stay with us.
Family TV, enriching lives. Family TV, enriching lives.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. You're still with me, John Jimmy Musimbi, here at Church of Uganda Family TV. Now moving on, the World Health Assembly approved a resolution on oral health in 2021 at the 74th World Health Assembly. The resolution recommends a shift from the traditional curative approach towards a preventive approach. The resolution affirms that oral health care interventions should be included in universal health coverage programs. However, the World Health Organization Global Oral Health Status Report of 2022 still shows worrying figures in regard to oral health. We speak to Dr. Robert Kamwine, a dentist, to understand what this means for Uganda. You're most welcome to News at 8, sir.
Thank you so much.
Kindly, I would love to understand a viewer out there who is watching us tonight and listening to this particular story would love to know, what is oral disease and how is it caused?
Thank you very much, Family TV. Let us first look at oral health, because that's the discussion. According to World Health Organization, looks at oral health as the well-being of your mouth that may include the soft tissues and the hard tissues. The hard tissues are the teeth, and the soft tissues are the tongue, the floor of the mouth, the lips, the pharynx, everything soft in your mouth. Those are soft tissues. So what is the oral diseases? That's what you actually asked. We are looking at the diseases that affect these tissues, the soft tissues and the hard tissues. Yes.
Okay. Globally, about an estimated 2 billion people and 514 million children suffer from tooth decay. What informs these figures as opposed to other oral health diseases?
Well, the statistics show by 2020 that 2 billion people, that is close to a quarter of the world's population, is affected by decay in particular, compared to other diseases, which could be periodontitis or even cancers. The reason being that in this generation, there is high consumption of industrial sugars. When you're talking about industrial sugars, these are the chocolates, the sweets kids take, even adults, the ice creams, all those manufactured sugars have a content in them that produces what we call lactic acid. So the lactic acid in your mouth will always decay your teeth and creating those cavities. So that's why most of the people, and actually when you meet 4 people, when you're walking along, one of them has a dental issue, and that is related to decay because of the manufactured sugars that are so common in this generation, and they are being consumed at a higher rate.
Periodontal disease, we understand this accounts for about 19% of the global adult population and representing more than 1 billion cases worldwide. What can be done to lower this prevalence?
Well, what can be done can be understood by understanding what causes. The major cause is poor health, oral health. When teeth are not cared for, or when your gums are not cared for in form of brushing, eating those fruits, flossing, visiting the dentist, you will have issues with the gum diseases. So what will lower? Number one, let us look at the hygiene first as the main preventive factor, the hygiene. How do you work out with your kids when it comes to brushing their teeth? You as an adult, how often do you brush your teeth? It's advisable that you should brush twice a day. Some people go thrice, but advisably twice a day. Some people don't even brush at all. We are looking at some of these factors, about 4 factors that bring these effects, and it was contributed to poverty because some people cannot afford to treat when these diseases come in. The geography, like in these developing countries, people cannot move a distance to reach the dentists. We are looking at the culture. You've seen cultures where people don't believe in brushing their teeth. There are cultures where people believe in removing teeth at an early stage. They extract them out. So those ones bring in the periodontitis. Periodontitis major, these are gum diseases. When we talk about periodontitis, confuse it. These are gum diseases that affect your teeth. So these factors, including ignorance, people don't know they're actually sick. Yeah.
Okay, an estimated 7% among people aged 20 years and about 23% estimate in people aged 60 years and above suffer from total tooth loss. What can people do to take good care of teeth to avoid such occurrences?
Well, the tooth loss, the major cause is decay. Pulpitis, pain. Once you feel pain in your teeth, you end up opting to remove it. However, there are many options now to protect it from removal, including root canal, fillings, when you go clinical. Let us look at the preventive first. hygiene. We can repeat that up to the end of the show. Your oral hygiene matters most. So our viewers, take your children and you yourself go to a dentist for a checkup. And again, when you talk about tooth loss, there are so many contributing factors now, including accidents, trauma, people who go for boxing. So look at those protective gears to help you protect your teeth from being lost.
Doctor, we understand that about 13% of the most common cancers worldwide is oral cancer. And this disease is also more deadly in men compared to women, I understand. Why is this so, and how can it best be prevented to lower down that rate of being 13th most common cancer worldwide? That's terrible.
Terrible. I like that. It's terrible. Also in men. Men watching, we have issues. And let it get back to parenthood. Most of the children, the growing adults, they are facing issues with cancers now at an early stage. Why? The reason comes with drug usage. People are smoking, they are using a lot of drugs, chewing a lot of kuba, mailunji, all those stuff. They contributing mostly to higher cancer rates compared to women. So let's look at these drugs, smoking, drinking, excessive drinking of alcohol. Let's minimize them because this is a gateway. The mouth is a gateway to the whole system. So the moment you control such habits, you're going to control cancers.
Well, thank you so much, Doctor, for getting time to speak to us. We shall always engage more on these interviews. Let's now have a look at the international news. Thank you too. Wow, now moving on to the international news, an earthquake has struck the main Indonesian island of Java, leaving at least 162 people dead and hundreds injured, local officials say. Take a look. According to US Geological Survey data, the 5.6 magnitude quake struck Sianja town in West Java at a shallow depth of 10 kilometers. Videos on social media showed some buildings reduced almost entirely to rubble and debris strewn on streets. Officials warn of possible aftershocks and say the death toll could rise. The area where the quake struck is densely populated and prone to landslides with poorly built houses. Rescuers have been trying to evacuate people from collapsed buildings and managed to save a woman and her baby, according to local reports. Earthquakes are common in Indonesia, which sits on the ring of fire area of tectonic activity in the Pacific. The country has a history of devastating earthquakes and tsunamis, with more than 2,000 killed in a 2018 Sulawesi quake. Now moving on, multiple students in a primary school in the Australian city of Sydney have been injured after a classroom science experiment went wrong. Take a look at more of this story. Reports say at least 2 students were taken via ambulance to a hospital with serious burns. 9 others are believed to have suffered superficial burns. Initial reports suggest the excitement involved sodium bicarbonate and methylated spirits. Helicopters, paramedics and fire trucks were seen responding at the scene. The incident took place at Manly West Public School around 1 p.m. on Monday.
I heard that people were saying, "Oh my God, the teacher's on fire." And yeah, it was kind of scary.
It was kind of scary with my friends getting a bit hurt.
It was very distressing seeing a helicopter and 10 ambulances on site.
They were supposed to do the serpent worm thing and it just exploded and went all over the kid's face.
New South Wales Ambulance Acting Superintendent Phil Templeman said the wind impacted the experiment and blew around some of the chemicals that were used.
The other children had various minor burns to their chest, lower abdomen, legs.
As I said, the majority of them, apart from the two, were walking wounded essentially, and were able to mobilise to the ambulance and be transported. Of the understanding, it's a fairly routine science experiment that is conducted within schools, and the wind conditions today have hampered that particular experiment and caused a bigger reaction than was expected.
One teacher was also treated for minor injuries. Several parents who dropped by the school on Monday afternoon said they had questions as to why the experiment took place, but added that the school had got things under control. Let's now take a look at the recap of the top stories. In the headlines tonight, former DP President Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogerere finally laid to rest. Uganda Certificate of Education kicks off with some cases of absenteeism. Elsewhere in the world, earthquake kills 46 and injures hundreds in Indonesia. Well, that's all we had for you tonight. My name is John Jimmy Musimbi. Do have a good night. See you tomorrow.
Family TV, enriching lives.
Do you know that you can now enjoy great enriching shows anywhere through the Family TV app? Here is how to download it. Open Play Store on your phone. Search for the Family TV app. Click Install. After installing it, open it and enjoy enriching content anywhere, everywhere, anytime. Family TV, enriching lives.